This is Nick Nielsen, Mad Scientist of Muscle, and what I've got for you today here is a review of the adjustable weight vest from Sportneer. Now, the one I have is a 40-pound adjustable weight vest, and you can load it up basically from 2.5 all the way up to 40 pounds. Now, the only caveat with that is you want to make sure that you're balancing the pouches and the pouches that are loaded with the weight front to back so that you're keeping it fairly even. Now, the 40-pound vest comes with 16 of these. These are little weight packs. So these go inside the pouches that are in the front here. You can see I've already got some loaded in here. It kind of looks like an ammo pack, but it's obviously this is not ammo. This is basically a solid pack that you can kind of squish around a little bit and shape to get in the pockets more easily. Now, in terms of setting up for this, I'm going to give you kind of a quick run through on how to set this up. So after you get the packs in, there's some on the front, there's some on the back. You can also adjust these straps to adjust the length in terms of how this sits on your body. You can also adjust the waist, and that's something you're going to do when you're wearing the vest, essentially. Now, a couple of really cool features about this vest. One of the first ones you'll notice, this actually has reflectors on it. So if you're doing any outside training, walking around, and you want to be visible when you're doing that training, the reflectors on here are a really nice feature. I don't see a lot of weight vests with that capability. So unless you want to like stick actual reflective material on another weight vest, you don't need to with this one. Now, this one has basically a jacket shape. So this is the front, and there's a zipper on the front, which makes this easier to take on and off, which I think is an excellent feature. Now, these pads right here, or sorry, these clips right here, anchor the sides to each other. You can also adjust those. You can unclip those. You can reclip those. I like to leave them on so that when I'm putting it on, all I really have to do is put the zipper on and then basically like so, like a heavy jacket, and then adjust the waistband. So what I've got here is the zipper. And it's a pretty solidly built piece of equipment. Really good quality material. Stitching is good. The zipper is not a flimsy zipper at all. So I really like the quality that they put this through. These things, you know, they're rock solid. They're not going to bounce, but they do kind of deform a little bit. So you can kind of smush them a little bit in terms of making them easier to get in the pouch here. So let me give you kind of a close-up on how that pouch works. So this is what that looks like. So that basically just slips right in here, and if you need to make it easier, you just kind of smush these things up and that'll work just fine. So don't need that anymore. Now, I've got this set up. The Velcro is good. To get this on here, you want to make sure these things are looped through this metal clip in the back, this metal bracket in the back, because this is what's going to tighten up the weight vest as you're doing the exercise. So you're starting with that like that. You close that around like that, and then you tighten it like that. So you want to do the left one first because that has Velcro on both sides, and then you tighten up and do the right one. So again, you can see this has the hooks on the Velcro, and this has the material on the Velcro. So you must put the left one on first because of that fact. So tighten it up really good, and then boom, you're good to go. Now, if you're doing walking, this is going to stay nice and steady on your body. Because you can adjust everything nice and tightly, you can, you know, jump pretty good. This is going to sit pretty well. Some vests I used a long time ago, if you lean forward, the whole weight pocket would flop forward, and it made, you know, all these straps come loose. And if you had to lean forward or do like push-ups, for example, that would flop around and really make the exercise more challenging and not in a good way. So with this weight vest setup, you don't have that issue. Everything is securely packed into these things, and this, like I said, a solid Velcro. You can be upside down, and this stuff is still not going to slide out. I mean, even with the Velcro not even on, it's actually not that easy to get these things out. So, point for adjustability, it will take a little bit of effort to load this vest and unload this vest as you kind of get more experience with the vest, you'll get better at it, and as these things kind of conform to the pockets, it'll get easier. Now, in terms of function, obviously this is very easy to walk with. You can run with it. If you're jogging in place, this will bounce a bit. So that is something that you might want to tighten up the straps. And these little thumb loops on here, you can actually use those to very easily tighten those shoulder straps up and kind of lock things down a little bit more solidly if you want to do that. Now, you can also do body weight exercises using any sort of vest, like lunges, reverse lunges, chin-ups, boom, like so. Now, one thing you'll notice with the chin-ups is if you try and go too close on the grip, this is going to actually interfere with the range of motion. So when you're doing chin-ups with extra weight, you're going to have to take a bit more shoulder width kind of grip rather than a narrow grip, because that will kind of affect the range of motion. Not a huge deal. If you're doing weighted chin-ups, obviously you can opt to not use a weight vest, you can opt to use other forms of added resistance. But this does give you an option for pull-ups, wide grip pull-ups. It's going to be even better because there's no blocking the range of motion with these extra weighted packs. Now, when you're doing push-ups, and I'll kind of tilt the camera down and show you, like so, this is going to stop the range of motion a few inches from the floor, because these weight packs are literally like 2 inches thick, and they're going to hang down a little bit. So if you want to do weighted push-ups, I do recommend having some sort of elevated handle, whether it's like a couple of dumbbells or purposeful push-up handles that are a few inches off the ground. Otherwise, it is going to shorten the range of motion, and you will, basically at a shorter range of motion. But bottom line, in terms of secureness on the body, it will hang down a little bit, but you can adjust that, and you can basically tighten everything up and strap yourself in even more. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take this weight vest off, I'm going to fill it to the maximum capacity of 40 pounds, and then show you basically how hard or how easy it is to get this weight vest on when it's fully loaded.
The process to do this from scratch basically took me about 3 minutes. Now, when you're doing this, you want to basically have everything kind of lined up, ready to go, and then just essentially you're stuffing these things into the pocket. You want to kind of balance them out so that you're getting even numbers on the front and back if you're going to be short of the full load. If you're putting the full load in, no problem, just start putting these pockets in. And as I'll kind of mention here, you want to load the bottom parts first, because if you load the top parts, then they'll actually interfere with loading of the bottom pockets on this thing. But overall, very easy to do, and these little sandbaggy things are very simple to move forward with.
All right, so the weights are all in. Now, one thing you're going to want to know when you're loading these weights in, load these bottom pockets first. Because if you load the top pockets first, this actual physical bulk of this is going to get in the way of loading packets into the bottom pockets. So again, if you're loading up, make sure you load those bottom ones first. Now, this kind of vest is not designed for changing weights rapidly on the fly. It'll be easier to get them out than it is to get them in, but this will take you a few minutes to go from basically zero load to fully loaded. So, once you kind of get a weight that you're comfortable with, you're probably going to want to keep it at that weight for a while until you're ready to move up in weight. That's what makes it kind of a little less practical for some body weight movements. Like if you wanted to do 10-pound extra chin-ups or 30 pounds or 40 pounds, the time it takes you to load from 10 pounds up to 40 pounds, not super practical. So using this for loaded walking, leg exercises, that kind of thing, is going to be probably a more effective use of the weight vest here. Now, fully loaded with 40 pounds, here's how we get it on. So it's like putting a really heavy jacket on. You're going to want to make sure your arms get through. Going to take a little jumping around a bit, but it's really not that bad. And in terms of other weight vests, like I said, some of them, I have an 85-pound weight vest that I actually have to lie down on the floor with the thing spread out and then flop the thing up and overhead. Otherwise, it's really, really difficult to put on. This is not bad at all. So that part is on. Make sure it's situated well on your body, and then Put the zipper on, make sure the pockets are solid. Now, again, we want to make sure that these Velcro straps, and this one did come out, you want to make sure that that goes through that D-ring behind you. And they did think ahead, and you can kind of actually see here, this Velcro bit is folded over, so it allows you to grab onto that end without having to basically worry about this thing getting stuck and not having a tab to pull on. So once that's on, again, the left one first, tighten that up pretty good, and then pull that right one tight, and you're solid. So literally, you know, once you're fully loaded, it's actually better, because I find you can even run with this, and it's the capability of tightening this thing up very substantially means it's going to sit pretty solidly on your body. This is not going to bounce around when you're doing any sort of walking movements. You can tighten this up. This is a little bit loose right here, so I'd probably tighten this up on myself a little bit as well. Now, bottom line, I like this weight vest a lot. I think it's very versatile. I think it's very effective for what it's designed for, which is basically, in my opinion, kind of loaded walking, loaded carrying stuff. Leg training, you can use it for other body weight exercises and body weight movements. For example, if you wanted to do pistol squats, single leg squats, that kind of thing, like that, this allows you to load your body without having to hold on to weight. So more effective for leg training, more effective for loaded cardio training. You can be good for some body weight movements such as loaded pull-ups, chin-ups. It's okay, but you're going to have to adjust for the range of motion. Now, in terms of quality, this thing is really built rock solid. This material is very well constructed. The Velcro is stable. You can literally hold this upside down. These Velcro straps are not going to slide open. These things are not going to come out by accident whatsoever, which I really like. The nylon webbing on here is good. Velcro is good. So overall, very high quality weight vest. I think this is absolutely worth looking at, especially if you're looking for something for some, like I said, loaded carry work, long distance cardio work. It sits really nicely on the body. For example, this is not just being carried on the straps. It's not just hanging on your shoulders and your trapezius muscles. Because you're able to tighten it, it actually sits more on the entire torso. So it's actually very well supported on here, which I quite like. I've had some weight vests where basically all the weight is either kind of pulling down on you and a lot of it is sitting on your chest, and it kind of makes it a little more uncomfortable. This sits a little bit lower, so you're not going to be compromised in your breathing. This is not sitting down on your chest. It's not squishing your lungs. So in terms of doing loaded cardio with it, this one gets top marks for that. All right, so bottom line, this weight vest from Sportneer is a very well constructed, very well built piece of equipment that is going to last you a very, very long time. So you can use it for a lot of different exercises, and if you were looking for a really good piece of equipment for loaded carrying, body weight exercises, that kind of thing, this is something I would definitely highly recommend.